Birds of a feather flock together. I want to talk about bird migrations. I'm actually just kidding. I want to talk about contradictions. But you've heard it before. Birds of a feather flock together. There's the conflicting side that says opposites attract. So, like, which one is it? There seems to be a lot of these contradicting words of wisdom. Like, he who hesitates is lost, verse, look before you leap. There's the pen's mightier than the sword, verse, actions speak louder than words. I'm convinced for every option, there's an equal and opposite option that seemingly sounds correct. And the truth is, there's only one right option. So what do we do when confronted with a contradiction? This is something I've thought a lot about. It's the major theme in my first film, aptly titled Contradiction. We're excited because we're submitting to festivals this year, and it's been a many-year effort, and it turned out to be something pretty cool. When I was 14, I started working on a project that I just couldn't let go of. It developed, and it turned into a mind-bending psychological thriller. I always liked the movies that felt most real. But how do you say something honestly in something so pretend like a movie? But I think it's this contradiction between fiction and reality that make it so when you leave the movie theater, abstract truths feel more real. So when I was making the film, I wanted to answer questions like, why do people give up? Why do they live lives they hate? And on the other side, why do people keep going? I wanted to show the collision of these two ideas. And what did I learn? Now more than ever, we're faced with conflicting facts, events, beliefs that we have to grapple with. But it's through this antithesis that we find conviction within our decisions. Contradictions are the best tool we have for making a decision. So I'm going to tell you the 3-step process to getting everything you want in your life. It's guaranteed. Step 1, find its opposite. Step 2, just decide. Step 3, learn and don't regret. It's simple, but it does get more complex. Abraham Lincoln said, "A paradox is the truth standing on its head for attention." He probably didn't say that, or maybe he did. I guess the only person who would really know is Daniel Day-Lewis. But contradictions, they help us clarify things and find truth. So step 1, when you have a decision, find its opposite. Change your perspective, look at it from the other angle completely. We're wired to understand things best through comparison. Rough feels rougher, contrasted by smooth. What's something in your life that you want to know more about? Let's take an apple. It's green, it's red, it's sweet, it's juicy. But now let's find its real opposite, a banana. Now that I'm looking at a banana, I can see a lot more qualities in the apple. It's round, it's got a core, it's got seeds. You might not like bananas. You may be an apple person, but you're going to like the apple a lot more because of the banana. So put yourself in the middle of a contradiction. Things become clear. We decided to do everything in this way for the film. If we're going to make a movie about contradictions, then the making of the film needed to be about contradictions. So we took every decision, found its opposite. This is Nathan. He's a people watcher, literally a security guard camera operator. And at work, we filled him with a tripod, there's visual effects, stylistic lighting, it's very controlled. But outside, it's more free. And then meet Bucky. Bucky's the opposite of Nathan. He finds it hard to stop talking. He's actually here somewhere. Don't tell him I said that. It's Bucky who convinces Nathan to insert himself into society. He encourages him to do the most actively passive way of people watching, via murder. There are two opposites that came together for the better. Things revealed themselves when we were filming. The inconsistencies in the film snap us out of our normal pattern of thinking. and a true connection emerges. So step 2, make a decision with conviction. What should I major in? Can I trust this person? Would I like that job? How do you make the right choice? G.H. Hardy described proof by contradiction as one of mathematics' finest weapons. See, it's how the Pythagorean theorem was proven. But can this be used outside math? Maybe it can. Outside math and most of science, truth's subjective, and it's distorted for our own beliefs. Proof by contradiction states, cheers. Proof by contradiction states that we have to take an opposite proposition, assume it's true, and then show how that assumption leads to a contradiction. Okay, simplified. Disprove one side by assuming the other side is true. But you really have to go all in on this assumption. Like, you have to believe that the person on the other side of the road is going to stay in their lane and not go into your lane. We have to believe things that we can't necessarily prove. Like, you have to assume. So when writing the film, I wanted to write something that would help people or solve a problem and prove that we have control. I had to make this movie, but I didn't have actors, I didn't have a budget, and I didn't have time. But what I did have, and most importantly, was conviction. Even when life's contradictions seemed to get in the way. But you don't have to look too far just for my cast to see that everyone's facing similar obstacles. Mark's always dreamed of acting. He's been in a wheelchair for over 40 years. There's not many opportunities for people in wheelchairs in Hollywood, but he's a remarkable actor, and he didn't let Hollywood's contradictions stop him. This is David. He's another actor in the film. He was suffering from COPD. My mom and stepdad were fighting cancer. Sometimes Ron/Bucky didn't feel like getting out of bed. But when he did, magic happened. They're in remission now. Unfortunately, David's not going to make it to the premiere, but I feel like part of him will. Listen, my sister's one of the stars in the film. My friends helped do the audio and the editing. We came together, made a decision, and I think we made something special out of something that should have been impossible. So step 3, learn and don't regret. Take in all the information, listen to your gut, and trust your instincts. Our guts tell us things, like when we're hungry or sick. But what if you made a mistake? What if that camera angle was wrong? It took me years to realize this. But the imperfections are the things that make things truly perfect. So doubt is normal. You're going to doubt yourself, you're going to doubt your ideas, and you're going to doubt if anyone will understand. But just keep moving forward. Here's the contradiction. Resistance actually makes it harder. So let go, and it'll become easy. We filmed hundreds of hours during the filming. We used these long lenses, and we just filmed, and we created these characters and the situations when we wrote the screenplay, but then we just plopped them in the real world, and we filmed what would happen. Truth emerged, and it became a documentary of contradictions in their natural habitat. We never feared the contradiction between fiction and reality. And I think I learned something about myself, that I had something to say. And paradoxically, it's that, sorry, it's pretty. And paradoxically, it's how to find truth in contradiction. Don't get stuck in echo chambers of seeing things and believing things that only you want to hear, because there's something valuable in the other side. Things we don't want aren't there to get in our way. They're there to make us realize the things that we really want. When making the film, we designed it to be an experience where you can go in and find your own truth in your contradictions. What are your contradictions? Should I major in this? Should I trust this person? Would I like that job? Make a decision, look at it from both angles, and don't regret it. Me, personally, I made a movie with my friends and family instead of just accepting life circumstances. And have I said anything today that you didn't really already know? I don't think so. I'm not trying to say you guys have been doing it wrong and this is the right way to do it. I think that you've made decisions and they were good. The problem was the solution and that you've been doing it right the whole time. So, as my well-known relative once said, there are only two things, truth and lies. Not everyone could see the truth, but they could be it. So remember, trust, but be weary. Don't hesitate, but look before you leap. And maybe eat an apple, but not before consider eating a banana. And when you see a contradiction, don't fear. It's a psychological thriller, not a horror film. And I'm excited to share, so thanks for listening.